Good afternoon, everyone. This is Stuart Stow. I'm the director here at the Homeland Defense and Security Information Analysis Center, or HDIAC. Thank you so much for joining us today for this webinar. And I wanted to take the opportunity to really provide an overview or an information briefing which really highlights the specific capabilities, services, and products that I think would be beneficial to all of our users. The IAC program as a whole is really steeped in history and dates back to World War II. And just like many programs, government programs has really gone through a significant transition and transformational phase throughout its lifespan. Several years ago, there was as many as 26 information analysis centers, and those have been consolidated and cobbled down now into 3 very distinct information analysis centers that are geared towards meeting the government's current and future requirements. So Homeland Defense Information Analysis Centers is obviously one of those 3 centers that we're here to talk about today, but the other 2 are Defense Systems and Cybersecurity. But one of the ways that the Information Analysis Centers have really transitioned over the years is through information collection and storage to now really a heavy focus on the analysis and the importance of that analysis. Not only for the Department of Defense, but for the government as a whole in meeting some of its requirements within the innovation space. The Homeland Defense Information Analysis Center has 8 very distinct focus areas that you'll see below, and we'll talk about those a bit more. But just like the other 2 information analysis centers, HDIAC falls within the Assistant Secretary of Defense for Research and Engineering structure and is directly subordinate to the Defense Technical Information Center. Those 8 focus areas that you see there that cover everything from alternative energy to weapons of mass destruction are really, we look at these as a way to help the government solve some of the biggest challenges that it's facing within that innovation process. The government understands the importance of the work that's being done within industry, within academia. You've seen the Secretary of Defense travel to California, to Silicon Valley, to open the doors to working with various industry partners. And looking at the best and brightest that exists, not only within industry, but also within academia as well, and how we can leverage that expertise to meet the current and future needs of the Department of Defense and the government as a whole. One of the ways that we do that is through the analytical process and through our technical services, which we'll talk about here more in depth, and how we can use and how our users can employ the information that we're using, the analysis that we're providing, to really reduce the redundancy within their individual government agencies, as well as improving the innovation process, maturing specific technologies within our 8 focus areas. And ultimately, this is really focused on time-saving measures as well as cost-saving measures for the government as a whole. The technical inquiry is one of our key technical services that we can provide, and really does cut across the depth and breadth of our program, where we are funded specifically by the Department of Defense and Defense Technical Information Center to provide 4 free hours of technical inquiry service on any topic within our 8 focus areas. You can see at the bottom of the slide here that there are several examples of what an inquiry might look like, but there's also, it can also cover topics and areas that extend beyond these as well. And when you look at your individual focus areas, ask yourself, how can HDIAC help? What can HDIAC provide within, your research and development topic, your S&T area of expertise that you might need help with? And one of the ways that we can do that is by identifying gaps, doing a gap analysis on specific capabilities, specific technologies, looking at future projections of a piece of equipment or a capability and how we can help in those areas. This is a graphical depiction of the process that we can bring to bear, and that all of our users, I would encourage all of them to use this process. One of the easiest ways to do that is through the HDIAC website. You see the link up there, hdIAC.org. And by submitting a free technical inquiry there's a button right there on the left-hand side of the page, submit a free technical inquiry. Put in your information, put in your requirement, and that immediately goes to one of our scientific and technical analysis team members for their review of the requirement, and if needed, get in contact with you for any additional information or any additional requirements that we could see that might be beneficial to you or your project. Once we have completed our analysis and based off of your requirements in whichever format you deemed you wanted to see the information, provide that back to you. The one thing that we do ask is that you provide us with a satisfaction or an assessment of the analysis of the product or the work that we performed for you. Again, this will help us be able to better suit our focus and capabilities for you and our other customers in the future as well. We get quite a bit of questions around our core analysis task and how we can, how different partners can use or leverage the core analysis task. This is a pre-competed, it's a pre-awarded contract vehicle to HDIAC through our center, and it gives government agencies the ability to come to us, and as you see in the graphic there, really reach into the various communities of interest and even beyond those communities of interest into specific industry partners, specific academic institutions, as well as our component and national labs that are doing some of the really advanced research and development work and S&T development as well, and how they can progress their innovation, the innovation process, their analytical portfolio within our 8 focus areas. This is one of the easiest contract vehicles that I've come across, at least in my time in the Department of Defense. And the next slide we'll take a little bit of a deeper look at the process. But what is the benefit of using this? What is the benefit to government partners using the HDIAC Core Analysis Task, or CAT, contract vehicle? Like I just mentioned, it's pre-competed, it's pre-awarded, and once we start working through that process and we get the statement of work, we can really start executing work within as little as 6 weeks. Earlier this year, the Undersecretary of Defense, you see the quote there, stated that this was the go-to contract vehicle for the DoD, best value, and should be considered the vehicle of first choice for anyone that's doing work within our 8 focus areas. So how do you get started? Let's take a quick look. This is very similar to the inquiry process. As a matter of fact, for any government agency that's considering moving forward with a core analysis task, we ask that you submit a technical inquiry. This would give us the capability to really get a jump start on some of the work that you're looking to perform within our 8 focus areas. We can really start looking at doing things like gap analyses, literature reviews of information that might already exist within that area that you're looking to perform the work. And then while we're doing that, also start working through the statement of work process. That statement of work process is key to ultimately the success of getting these delivery orders on the project and start making progress on these individual pieces of work. We can help you through the entirety of this process, and we will be the agency that submits, the center that submits your statement of work to start the process. Once that is approved, we move into the MIPRs and technical and cost proposals, and then from that process, once the statement of work is approved, we can really get to work in as little as 4 to 6 weeks. Collaboration. This is an exceedingly important term, not only within the Department of Defense, but really extends into every area of government work as a whole. You know, we are actively reaching into academic institutions and industry partners that are doing work within our 8 focus areas, and there's really some very exciting developments that are occurring. And encourage everyone to, if you have an idea, if you have a white paper, we have a spot on our website to submit those ideas, so that we can start attempting to again collaborate with government partners that we're aware that might be doing work in that area and looking for specific capabilities. And our government agencies, we encourage you to, you know, to use us if you're looking to identify a task that you either have on the books now or you're looking to bring to bear in the very near term. We can help you understand what science, what capabilities exist out there, as well as which partners are doing work within those areas that have the best capabilities and are making some of the most exciting advancements in those areas. We have a fairly extensive subject matter expert that covers across all of our 8 focus areas, and we utilize our subject matter experts for almost all of our processes within the basic center of operation and our program as a whole. The value of this is really twofold, is symbiotic rather, in that we are able to leverage the expertise and the capabilities that our subject matter experts have, and then we are able to reach into that same network when we get requirements for core analysis tasks, and bring them in as a part of our team to help accomplish and execute some of the work. Our publications is a key piece of what we can provide on some of the newest advances within the S&T and R&D market within our 8 focus areas, in areas that have specific focus on DoD application. We change out our spotlights, which are pretty short synopses of advances that I just mentioned, technological advances within our 8 focus areas. Some of those have been highlighted on other websites, and they reach a very large audience. One of the other things that within our publications is our journal. We author a quarterly journal, and we have external authors that help us with this. Again, within some of the S&T and R&D capabilities that some of the academic institutions are doing, our industry partners are performing, and giving them a chance without the rigor and the bureaucratic processes that go into other journals to get their capabilities in writing and in front of a large audience within a very short amount of time. As I mentioned up front, the focus of our program is really geared towards the innovation process, how we are here to really support the Department of Defense in reducing the redundancy, in maturing technologies, in cost-saving measures, time-saving measures for both scientists, researchers, government officials, and government agencies, and really reaching into a vast network within our 8 focus areas of experts that are doing some of the most exciting work, both on the S&T and the R&D side, and then using the capabilities that our center has with our technical inquiries and our core analysis task vehicle, and then leveraging the other aspects of our center that include our subject matter expert network and our publications to really make sure that we're providing an extensive overview of the areas that are within our the advances when they're within our 8 focus areas, and the importance of making sure that we're staying abreast of all of the exciting things that are occurring outside of the 4 walls of the DoD and how we can leverage those. I really do appreciate everyone taking the time to tune in today. If you have any questions or concerns, or you want to learn more about our center, please use that email address below, info@HTIAC, or go to our website for additional information as well. Thank you so much, and look forward to the future webinars from HTIAC. Thanks.